Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing great today. I'm with Master McGill, and we just had breakfast at now has become the #1 spot to go to for breakfast on our Mount Laurel group on Facebook.
Didn't they like double the Nux runner-ups votes tally?
It did. So I didn't look at the last number. I know this restaurant, the Kettle Grill. Kettle and Grill. The Kettle and Grill. So we just had breakfast. It was great. For me, it's always about atmosphere and ambiance, and I love it. They have nice lighting here. If you haven't been here, you got to come here. If you have been here, I know why it's like #1.
I do.
#1.
I do.
So anyway, Peter Liciaga here with, I want to call you Master McGill, but Colin McGill here. We are your Mount Laurel martial arts guys. I'm the old guy, and he's the young guy.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Young guy. So anyway, we thought we'd come here live and after eating and just share some things that we've learned about, what are we talking about? I have my notes right there. Important lessons.
I thought we were going to talk a little bit about that idea of like ownership and teaching kids the ability to own or have responsibility.
Yeah, that amongst things. I think about 5 things we were talking about. We wanted to talk about because right now, hot on our list, because of course we're, karate guys and teaching martial arts, and for more, it's always about character. And parents are telling us that they're looking for confidence, they're looking for more discipline, focus. What else are they looking for?
They're always looking for respect and some of that kind of self-awareness, the ability to understand what you're doing and how it's affecting other people.
Yeah, we always ask.
Really incredible.
Yeah, we always ask why you want to do martial arts, and that's what they tell. So we figured we'd come on here, share with you guys a couple of insights, and this is actually the first time you and I really come on in a while, in a long while.
It's been a while.
And the first time we've ever done it after we've eaten. First time we've ever done with our our version of a critique of a restaurant that's already considered #1. So I'm not going to say whether if I did not like it, I wasn't going to say that. Maybe I would have, because everyone else.
I know you would have said it.
but no, a couple of things that we've learned. I've been doing martial arts. Started martial arts 51 years ago. You started martial arts how long ago?
20 years ago now.
20. So we're talking about 71 years combined of an experience in martial arts. So we're going to talk about a couple of things here. The first thing, the most important lesson that I learned really is to listen to the parents and really to serve the parents in solving the challenges and problems they have. So that's the #1 thing I've learned as a teacher in martial arts. The #1 thing you learned as a martial arts instructor.
#1 thing I've learned is really interesting in talking to parents, because what I've seen so often is everyone's looking for the same thing but with different words. And at the end of the day, they're all looking to help their kids be with a community of people who are trying to and working toward building the full flourishing of their child, and be able to go out in the world, be independent, and be able to at some point separate themselves from their parents. It's a really interesting thing. Yeah. Because maybe it's from focus, maybe it's awareness. Hello, Miss Matthews.
Hi, Miss Matthews. I'm gonna wave right back at her. Wave.
But it all boils down to that full flourishing, or I'll use my pretentious Greek for now, eudaimonia that we're trying to go to.
Eudaimonia, always learning new words. Yeah, you know what? And a lot of times, my #1 concern as a parent is to prepare my child for the world, to go out there, because there are going to be challenges out there, and I want to do all that I can to equip them so that when they do go out there, that they are as equipped as possible to confront the challenges in life. And what we found was #1. Hi, Master Torres. All right, thanks for the wave, Master Torres. I appreciate that there. I hope you're doing well with you and your family. And I've been seeing some of the things that you're doing with the martial arts magazine. So give a link in the comment section about that martial arts magazine. Also, I want to before we move on, I want to give a big shout out to the Matthews family, Mrs. Matthews with Hunter and JC. Great success. Your mom and dad Matthews, you guys are doing an awesome job with your kids, and so very proud, very proud. So anyway, so that's what I found is really, really important as a parent, to prepare my kids for the world. And we were shook awake last year with this pandemic, and we're coming out now. We're moving forward in a very positive way. So let's talk about we have 5. I have little stickums here, guys. So make sure I stay on track, because we want to make sure we don't ramble as much as we typically will.
Yeah.
And so, but the first thing I have on the list, and it's not in order of importance, or maybe it is, you never know, but respect. Number one thing that when kids come in, that's the first thing that I talk to them about is respect. And yeah, we were just saying hello to one of the guys that clears the table. One of the bus, I think they were bussing the tables, and they're very friendly here. And I didn't ask for permission from our waitress to say her name here, but she was great, really great. She's been here. I think she said she was from the beginning, right?
From the beginning. From
the beginning of this restaurant starting. But anyway, the number one thing that I teach about, that we talk about when a student comes to us, is respect. Respect. So for you, just share with everyone your definition of respect. Because I like when you give definitions. It's like
So for me, it's the skill, and respect is the skill, treating people with the kind of just, every person has a level of dignity that they should be treated, each person. And there's a lot of ways we traditionally show respect. We call them manners and culture. And we have a lot of those in the martial arts world, these forms, these kata of respect. But at the end of the day, we have those, but we also want to build out that actual feeling in a child, how they're talking, communicating, how they work with people. Are they really showing them that they have that intrinsic in everyone value as a person? It's almost the, how do you treat everyone like the least important person in your life? One of the best, when I met new people, ways I can filter them, I watch how they talk to waiters and waitstaff, the people who are helping them. Because the least important person in your life, the way you treat them shows me how you treat everyone else.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. Hey guys, if you just coming in on us, we are your Mount Laurel martial arts guys. He's the young guy, I'm the old guy. All right, and so, but anyway, we're talking about lessons we've learned and what we're teaching, and we just, Master McGill just really spoke about respect and definition of respect. Another thing I want to touch on, and I do bring up when I talk about respect, is self-respect. Not only respect for others, but respect for oneself, self-respect. And so many times I see people, kids, adults, really going out there and showing great respect for other people. But then at the end of the day, are they showing respect for themselves through how they eat, how they take care of themselves? So this respect, I found, was a really, really important factor of in the work that we're doing. Another thing that we're talking about is the confidence, but the confidence with self-confidence and the power of self-confidence. Even in times of discomfort, uncertainty, doubt, even fear, having the ability to be confident, knowing that you're going to get through whatever the challenge is. So your feedback on that?
That's such an important skill. And one of the things that confidence comes in many ways from competence being tested over and over again. But the value of it to me is I get to even though I'm the young one, I get to see a bunch of people who are my age in their 20s, how they've grown up, what their confidence actually looks like. And confidence really gives you that ability to resist what the other pressures people are putting on, how they socially perceive you should have to be. And even more important into that, it gives you the ability to, when there is an opportunity or a challenge, to seize onto it. The number of times I've had somebody say to me, well, I can't do this, I can't do that, because they aren't sure. For me, when I have a situation where I'm not sure something's going on, I just said to somebody the other day, I'm going into the city meeting some friends, and I said, what's the worst that can happen? We're gonna go spend some time at the Independence Mall. But you have to be able to sit back and really say, okay, I have the belief in myself that whatever happens, I am going to be able to handle it. And we build that through positive feedback to the kids, giving them that praise, but also giving them the ability and to test themselves, fail, and realize failure is not death. And failure, when you haven't had it a lot, feels like death. And so it gives them that ability to test it over and over again. Hello, Mr. Rosenblatt. But how for you, because I know you...
let me give him a quick wave over there. Thank you, Mr. Rosenblatt, for the wave.
Because I know when I grew up, wasn't the most confident person. I think you could feel that in some ways as well. How do you feel confidence is, how you've seen it changed or develop while you've gone from building it in yourself to now I'm teaching students, to now I'm teaching my own kids, now I'm teaching my own adult kids.
Yeah. What's amazing is that my confidence has come through, not through my successes, but it's come through my overcoming my failures. the mistakes that I've made, the decisions that were just so wrong, that I overcame that, and it'd be like, oh my gosh, wow, I can't believe I overcame that. Like for example, in 2008, I was one of those families that I came this close about 3 times losing my home, because we had a business. My business went under, and we were struggling just to make ends meet, and I had to fight to really hold on to our home. And now when I look back on that, my confidence with the decisions that I make now professionally and with respect to in the household is very, very high. Not so much because of my successes, but because of those mistakes that I made, or the failures. Maybe it wasn't my fault, but the confidence comes through that. So a lot of times we'll teach the kids, and we do it in a very intelligent and very progressive way, where we make things a little bit uncomfortable for the students, not just the kids, but the adults as well, so that they can experience failure. There's a course that I'm taking right now. I'm sharing it with you for parents. I'm taking it as a parent, and I'm learning how to work with strong-willed children. And one of the things that they suggested that I do, I'll speak for myself, saying to class, was saying it to me, that when your child asks you to do something, ask if they can do something. Even though you can't do it, it's nothing a big thing we're asking. Simply tell them no. No. And the kid says no. He says, why? Well, because I thought it'd be a good idea to just say no, so you can see what it's like to be rejected, and to experience not getting everything your way. And that was, for me, a very important lesson, because again, we have to train ourselves to be resilient, and not get our way all the time. Get tough with that, but then still have the confidence to get up and say, you know what can I do to get around this? What can I do to get through this? What can I do to get through my day? And so for me, a lot of my confidence has come through that mistakes. And we do, again, martial arts, when we do grappling, all the stuff like that.
When we play kill each other all the time.
When we play kill. I like that. Play kill. So the next thing, and let's jump all the way down, because for the sake of time, let's go down to this idea of responsibility and ownership, which I think is huge.
It's truly incredible. I'm going to jump back to my psychology minoring days, I guess is the best way to describe it. But we talk a lot about, in that world, for developmental psych, the difference between nature and nurture. To what extent is somebody born with set this is them, to what is the environmental factors? And almost all of that still is outside of the individual's control. But at the end of the day, every time we would sit in class, we would be sitting there and talking about, well, look at all the cards that are stacked against somebody in the deck, especially when we were talking about bullying.
Hi, right? Kristen Fallon.
And, hello, Miss Fallon. What I think is so interesting is, at the end of the day, it's just like, I'll use the small example of the IQ research. There's a huge debate to what extent is this intelligence, one, what are we actually evaluating, because no one's got a good definition of it. And two, far more importantly, what is the extent that you are born with this level of IQ? To what extent is it early environmental factors? At which points do they happen? But no matter which way we look at it, if any part of it, there is some element you can control, which is almost certainly true. There's almost certainly true that there's some element of that you can control in how you learn and study and how you work on those things. Then worry about that. Because the bottom line of ownership is, you start to realize, the more you go through the world, you can study the world and look at all the cards and ways that things are stacked against you. But I can't change all of that. Yes, please. They're lovely here. They're great. They're feeding my caffeine addiction. So
all he needs is just the caffeine to keep coming. He's okay. Keep the caffeine coming. That's what he needs. No, I'm good.
Thank you so much, Connie. So the thing that I think is so interesting is that we have to really go deep into what can we control. For me, my life, the example is I have an ADD, ADHD adjacent diagnosis. Specifically, it really affects my hand-eye coordination and my ability to regulate my attention. If you notice while I'm doing this video, I keep trying to fight looking that way every time someone walks by. And what's so interesting is when I was in school, they focused all on the handwriting. I did lines. No one trained me how to regulate my attention. Because for me, my grades, I had the luxury, were so high that, there's no problem. This does not work forever. And so I hit a wall in college, right? I had to start learning and understanding how to use my brain. And I could have said, and I could say, like yesterday we had a conversation about this. I had dropped some balls for what we needed to get done because of a challenge I was dealing with. I could have said that, I'm just never going to be able to do that.
Right, yeah.
But instead I said, like, okay, I need to find a time, like what I've been doing now is not working. Now I need to find a solution for that problem. And that's a huge difference. And that's where real ownership is going to change and leverage you.
Yeah, I love because what I like, and thank you so much for sharing that. It's really, I love it when you share. That's outstanding. The one thing I want to add to this little chat about ownership and responsibility before, and then we'll wrap up for you guys. This way you can go ahead and start your lunch. I know it's about 11:30 right now. So what I want to share is that I like the idea of the power that being responsible for every aspect of your life brings, because ownership is really about true power, and the choice is mine. When something happens to me, good or bad, I take full responsibility on how I respond to that. And for me, that's empowering. And one of the things that we hear from a lot of our parents is that basically at the end of the day, they want to empower their children, and giving them the permission to take full responsibility of every aspect of their life, psychological, emotional, and physiological, all aspects of their being. Take full responsibility, no excuses, full ownership. That's true power. And so that when something happens in their life, something happens in my life, in that moment when it's happening, I decide how I will respond and how I will move forward. And so I like that. I love that, the power of ownership and responsibility.
Can we say discipline equals freedom, or is that going to get us plagiarized off the internet?
No. Discipline equals freedom, and that's of course Jocko Willink. Those of you guys, Jocko Willink's book with Leif Babin called Extreme Ownership. And if you haven't read that, read that. It's a great book. Hello, Mr. Hahn. How are you? Thanks for the wave. And Miss Lozano, thank you guys for the wave. Hope you're enjoying your summer so far. And we got the weekend coming up for the 4th of July. But no, I think that's great. It's so important to have extreme ownership, and really that the discipline, having the ability to do the right thing, regardless of how you feel, take full responsibility, does give you freedom and power.
It really does. I think about all those times where I get to go out I get to go for a trail run in the middle of the day, or I get all of these opportunities. Partly it's because I'm a martial arts instructor. I've got a lot of control over my day. But the other reason why I'm comfortable and confident doing that is I know that I'm going to budget the time somewhere else. I'm going to be able to make those choices, and that choice doesn't destroy everything else that has to get done. And even in those moments, the reason why that's possible is because Master Liciaga and I, we've spent a lot of time together. We know if there's a ball dropped and someone mentions it, we're on it literally in that moment. And I think it's such an important, because a lot of people feel like discipline is restricting. And it's so much the opposite. It makes me have the ability to choose what I want to do. It's truly incredible.
And I love that, and that's empowering, which is what we want to do for each other, for ourselves, for our team, for our students, for our families, for our community. So anyway, as we wrap it up, Mr. Weller, thank you so much for the wave. I appreciate it, guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend. But as we wrap it up, I just want to thank Kettle and Grill for great service here. We're here, and our waitress, you slipped her name, so but I'm sure it's okay. She won't mind, and I'm sure. But
nobody noticed.
No one noticed. But go back and see if you can find out what her name is. Okay, but the coffee is great. My breakfast, what I had, typically when I go to restaurants, and if I go for breakfast, a lot of times I will order the Greek omelet. And so that's what I ordered today. So I'm comparing it to the last time I had the Greek omelet. And so it's right up there. I enjoyed it. It's nice. But to me, it's always about the service, the atmosphere. And that's what I like about the Kettle and Grill. So they were our hosts.
I think I've been with him in a restaurant for a couple of dozen times. I've never seen him order breakfast and it not be a Greek omelet.
Yeah, so far, yeah.
So it's definitely his number one thing.
No.
I think that I love the energy here. I love the fact that they've got some really good lighting and interior design. I'm sorry, the architecture and art student in me really loves it. But it's truly incredible lunch. The service was, I'd say top notch.
Yeah, when you guys come, you got to look at how they have their posters or their pictures up and the lighting with that. I like that. It's a nice soft lighting and it gives it a great atmosphere in here.
And the photography, I don't know where they got the images of the kettles, but like the actual photographs of because they're all kettle images with the theming, but they're all really good. They're well.
They are. Yeah.
These are amazingly well composed photos of kettles.
Yeah, I like it.
Like I wouldn't mind putting these in my house.
Yeah, these are nice, very nice. So, anyway, guys, as we wrap it up, thank you so much for spending this time with us. Thank you for the waves, everyone, and have a safe 4th of July.
And if you know any really amazing places in Mount Laurel or the Mount Laurel area that we need to go to next, leave them down below because it doesn't take us much to need an excuse to go out and get food.
Yeah, not at all, not at all. And so thank you to everyone on the Mount Laurel group. Thank you so much. And Susan and all the other administrators, thank you so much for creating that group. We've got so many people there sharing their favorite spots, asking for recommendations. So it's a very active group. So we thank you. If you're not on that group, make sure you get on the Mount Laurel group. Other than that, guys, you have a great day. Have a great 4th of July. And we'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.
I have a great day, everyone.